Good afternoon, everyone. Another episodes of the Karen's podcast. And this week we have a special treat. We have Leila, who does tarot card reading, and our Karen Megan brought her along. How's everybody doing this week?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, it looks like Sue's driving, multitasking.
Yeah, trying to head back home. Had a doctor's appointment that I couldn't get out of.
So don't swear at traffic.
Yeah, let's try not to make her mad.
Yeah. and pay attention, please.
Pay attention.
That's right. What everybody do this weekend? Anything exciting?
I ran a 5K up in Arnold.
Where the 75-year-olds beat you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The first half I was running with this 62-year-old dude named Dave, and the second half I was running with a 75-year-old guy named Jerry. We were just chatting and hanging out and shuffling, and it was fun. I had a really good time.
Oh,
nice.
Remember I said I was like the elevation, and it's very hilly. So yeah, it's okay that you're running with 65-year-olds.
Oh yeah. I didn't put any expectations. I haven't really been running very consistently. I've been, drinking and vacationing. So I was like, whatever, no pressure, no expectations. And then that made for I really had fun. It was enjoyable.
Nice.
Yeah. Amanda, you mentioned something about running too. So so when did we all get into the running thing? When did Susan
I blame Amanda.
Well, I blame Susan.
Amanda started in high school.
I started running in high school.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that, but like this new resurgence of Carolyn has now been in a couple of and
I'm
Amanda
excited.
is like, oh, I can run, and like
Carolyn blames me.
What am I supposed to do?
I was fine with Susan. I was fine with Susan being a marathoner. I wanted nothing to do with it. Right? I was like, whatever. I'm not interested.
Yeah, you're my team.
And then Amanda bullied me into running that 10K for her 50th, which she didn't get to run. Yeah. And then I just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, it's fun that you guys are getting. Now that my knee is hopefully on the mend, I want to do a couple of these little runs with you. Come on, Megan.
You walk everywhere. You walk all over the place.
I do. I walk a lot.
The 5Ks, there are a lot of walkers. It's still enjoyable, and it's usually beautiful, at least where I was this last weekend.
I might have to do it.
Chuck does that. You should do it with Chuck.
There's a bunch of people that walk marathons and walk half marathons.
Yeah.
Really?
Manny runs it and Chuck walks it. He does like almost every one of them now with Manny.
Really? I didn't know that. Oh, I totally walk it. I'm like, these knees are not for running anymore.
Yeah. Right.
So, all right. Well,
I'll walk with you, Megan.
Okay, cool. We can get medals too.
Yeah, we'll go.
That's right. Everybody wins. It's like
awesome.
Everybody gets a medal, a participation
award. Yeah. Hey, I did get a first place ribbon because
your age group.
But I was the only one in my age group.
I love this. You're gonna frame it, and put it up in the house.
Fucking winner! Yeah. Yeah, I was laughing pretty hard.
Oh man,
that's amazing. Well, that's good. Well, Leila, tell us. Well, let's let Megan actually introduce you.
Okay.
Well, this is like my newest favorite human that I met at a wine bar that we were no longer working at, but just like vibed from the minute that we met. Both air signs, like just very in tune with people, personalities, energy, vibes. I could be her mother, like I'm that old and she's that young. So it is, but it's been awesome, I will say, because it's like you get to be like, well, when I was your age, but then also like I remember my late husband Kurt, because he was a bartender, he met a lot of different people, a lot of different ages, and he would always say, like, don't always gravitate towards people your own age.
Yeah.
Like, because you're experiencing what you're experiencing, they're experiencing what you're experiencing. He's like, young people just bring a different vibe, a different energy, a different viewpoint, and all of that. And I think, we've gotten to experience that too. But like, I told Leila, I was like, I don't think I've met a new person that I felt so comfortable around immediately.
That's cool.
Like, just like being myself and like can
Yeah.
say anything and be, me. So, and then when she was into tarot card readings, and she's a Libra and I'm Aquarius, so again, both air signs, and just kind of has caught on to some energy stuff that has happened with me. And so here she is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Megan and I had a very special connection. Megan has a way of making you feel like you've already known her for a long time. So when I met Megan, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I've known her forever. So we kind of had that connection. And then, we got into everything. And I also wanted to know I wanted to go over everybody's signs. Now that we're talking about signs, I'm just interested.
Interested.
Cool.
I'm a Virgo through
Okay.
September 1st. I'm like as Virgo as
Virgo get.
But
Nice.
I'm Scorpio rising. So
okay.
Yeah.
How about your moon?
That?
Do you know your moon?
I don't.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Scorpio rising, Virgo sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. I'm a Pisces.
Sue, you're a Pisces,
That's
Amanda.
all I know.
And then yeah.
And I think very Pisces.
Probably.
Yeah, like still waters run deep.
Yeah.
And
sure.
And a water sign.
Yes, I like water. Except shark infested. Yeah. Lakes.
Yeah.
More of a lake girl.
And emotionally very
Yes.
water sign too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, I like the water. Not exactly what we're talking about.
She's like, I drink a lot of tea.
And then
water.
Sue's in her season.
Her season's coming up.
Yeah.
What are you? We didn't hear that, Sue.
I'm a Leo.
Leo.
And
And do you
Leo through.
Yeah. Do you know your rising or your moon, Sue?
Don't know any.
No.
I'm
God,
sure
we should
she'll find
probably.
it.
Maybe we should have done that beforehand, but
No.
I don't think.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good lineup. Virgo, Pisces, Aquarius, Leo.
I know.
You guys
Are we all a different sign then? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 12 of them.
Yeah.
So
You're all 4 elements.
I thought there was 4 elements.
All
Yeah,
4
that's what I meant.
elements.
Yeah,
So we
you
are
are.
water, air, fire,
Yep.
and earth.
That's right.
Damn.
That makes for an amazing podcast, by the way. Having all of those dimensions and all those elements in place.
And what are you, Leila?
I'm a Libra, so I'm an air sign just like Megan.
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But so astrology is interesting because I feel like astrology and tarot is all interconnected. You can use astrology in your readings. You can use it in psychic readings. And I think astrology tells you a lot about people. You might not every horoscope that you see on like all the pop magazines are going to be accurate. But like, if you look at some of the characteristics, you can definitely tell, like, I mean, there are definitely traits. So I think that's really interesting. And my best friend and I got into astrology in college. So we've been really studying that. So that's been really fun.
And have you noticed you can really see that? Like you can see.
Yeah. I can usually guess. I can guess.
She's good.
Give me a second. If you just give me a few minutes with somebody,
Really
I can probably guess their sign or at least one of the rising or moon signs, because I just think it's really telling. It's fun. But so I do tarot card readings. I started that this year.
Blast your name, by the way.
Sunglow Path.
There you
Sunglow
go.
Path. Yep. And I started that. I came up with the name this year. I've been doing kind of like little psychic readings since last year. This year it became more real. And I am actually from Boston. So I just moved from Boston last June, almost. On June 11th, it'll be a year. So upcoming this month. June is a very special month.
Yeah.
And I feel like California really invites mystical, magical people. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just try it out. And then now it's been really great. So
will you share how you got to like, just on this region of tarot card readings and stuff, like how you ended up on Sacramento?
Right. So when I was I was at Simmons University in Boston. I was graduating with my bachelor's, and I was like, all right, so I want to move out of the East Coast, but I didn't know where. I was looking in like Florida. I was looking in, I don't know why, because I was like, I want to go somewhere hotter. I was tired of the seasons. I was looking in like Chicago. And I was like, nothing just feels right. And so I ended up using what's called astrocartography, which uses your astrology and puts it into like a database. And you can use the lines in your map to figure out like what are the best areas for you. So I saw a couple lines going through California, and one of them was directly through LA. And I was like, that's not gonna work. Not gonna work. I cannot jump into LA right now. There's like absolutely no way that's happening. So I was like, okay. So I looked it up. I went back, and it said like you can be 100 miles each way from your line to reap like the benefits of those astrology lines. You know what I'm saying? So I looked into some of the lines, and they were going near Sacramento and San Francisco. And so I just knew it wasn't going to be San Francisco. And I was like, all right, so it's going to be probably Sacramento. And it sounded crazy because I've never really even thought about Sacramento at all.
Never been
to
here.
California, never been over
That's
here.
cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, I convinced my best friend, which didn't take much convincing, to go on a spring break trip, our last spring break in college, to come out to Sacramento and just see it for a couple days. And I was like, oh God, like, I don't know what we're doing. According to astrology, this is what it says. And she was like, okay, spent our own money on the trip. And we went, and I was like, all right, this feels right once I got to Sacramento. So that's kind of how I got here.
Very
cool.
And everybody that I told in college was like, what?
What did you study?
Political science.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. Yes.
That's
science.
great.
Yeah.
Political science and sociology. So everybody was like, oh, yeah, Sacramento because political science. And I was like, yeah.
The capital, sure.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why. Yes. But that was like the easier answer. I was just like, oh yeah, because it's the capital. But truly it was because of astrology. So that's how that all happened.
And when do you think you got into astrology? Like, when do you, is there some moment in time, your childhood or something that happened?
I grew up with a relatively witchy mom. So she was into astrology a little bit growing up, and she was also into like, witchy stuff. So I was always kind of like, I was always adjacent to astrology, but I didn't really like look into it until college. In college, I realized, oh, wow, this is like really making sense, because you can, with astrology, it's all math. So it's all math based, it's not faith based. And so you can really see like different events in your life happening, maybe not the details. So astrology probably won't tell you like, you're going to meet this guy named Michael at 27. And like it's not going to say that, but it will say like someone significant is coming in around this time. And like, you can kind of like plan things out. And that's the beauty of astrology, is because we all have free will. So that can also come into play too. So, but yeah, I got into it in college, and my best friend, her mom was an astrologist, and I was like, what is that? And I didn't know that was even a profession.
My dream job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dream job. Dream job is to be an astrologist. And
yeah, Megan, how come you haven't done that?
I don't know.
You gotta train for it.
We got to go back to that math part.
Yeah, there you go.
Why haven't I gotten my degree completely yet? Yeah, those math classes. See, math is going to fuck me in the end, no matter what.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Math part is scary.
Yeah.
But she did like, her mom was did all these retreats and stuff, and like was able to learn from different people, actual astrologists, and that's kind of how it's passed down. So she passed down her information to me. I was like, whoa. And yeah, we just kept reading on it. And yeah, that's kind of how that happened. And everybody can read it. It's open. It's very easy. Anybody has access to it.
So how'd you go from the astrology end to tarot? Like I'm not really super familiar with how, I mean, I know what tarot cards are in general, but just like super basic. I don't really know much about it. So how'd you go from that to tarot?
Right. Well, in college, I also was like, oh, I feel like I'm definitely psychic. There's definitely things in my childhood that like, and we all are psychic. We all have a sense of or being a psychic, and it just depends on what level you use, kind of. And I was like, oh, I feel like I'm using a huge level of my psychic abilities. I would like to look into that. So I looked into it, and I was like, all right, I don't really feel comfortable doing like a reading for somebody without a guide to like help me through the reading. And I was like, okay, so how about tarot cards? Because tarot cards are interesting because you can you're pulling random cards. So it helps you guide your readings and helps you kind of continue with the information that you're being
tool
from the spirit. Yeah, it's a tool just to use. And
so
sometimes I go off of the cards. Sometimes I don't
random
use cards.
Is it not? Is it random or not? Like, is it random kind of, or like, is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways you can use the cards. Kind of like, well, going back to the original use of the cards. Megan, were you going to talk about the how it was like used for a game?
Oh, I had just Googled and like it was saying the very beginning was all about it being like a card game for the elite and for the rich. And it was supposed to entertain them. It wasn't more, it wasn't like a fortune telling or like a seeing of the future or anything like that. It was just very much like a fun entertainment card game. And then it grew like some centuries later into like more of the mystical, and then it became like very approachable to anybody. But it used to be very much, I mean, like most things are, you got money, you get to have the things. And now it's approachable. I mean, who has had tarot card readings? Have we all?
No.
I've had like
Susan has.
I've had like a 6 or 7.
Yeah, because we got ours done in New Orleans. So I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta know, Leila, though, because you said that you're feeling pretty psychic. So you got to give us some examples of this.
Yeah. So, okay. So I was going to say, so tarot cards are used like as a tool. It was originally supposed to be a game. What turned into a game is now a tool. And basically what happens is when I'm shuffling the cards will come flying out while I'm shuffling, and I use those cards to help the person, my client, whoever I'm reading. But before that, I realized I was a little psychic when I was predicting things in my life that happened, and I was also predicting things for other people. So whether let me start here. Everybody that I interact with always has a story. I feel like that's just been like Megan will tell you. So I have the craziest people. Not that they're crazy, but like their stories are insane.
Yes. And people tell you those. I don't know if it's an air sign, but I mean, we've all been together before, and like people will come up to me in the group, not everybody, but specifically me, to tell me their whole life story or their woes or whatever it is. And I'm like, why is it just me? I think it's an air sign thing because you're open to it and open to the energy and stuff. But yes,
but
they
have
observed
As I'm like sitting with Megan, rolling my eyes at this person, and Megan is like, "Tell me more." I'm like, "Just give me another drink." What's going on around here?
So you're more open to that. But like, can you give us story of like what you predicted that would kind of make you realize you were more in tune with that part of yourself than like Carolyn, for instance?
Yes. So going back to the whole people approaching me type of thing.
Yeah.
As much as I tried to shut people out, because in college I was like, I'm an introvert and I don't like anybody and I don't like people and I'm gonna work and I'm gonna go to school. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I realized like that's just not
doesn't work
my path at all. So when there is this one person I was friends with, and one of her family members had passed away, and she was graduating. She was a couple years older than me. And I had visions of her family member, circulating in my brain a lot. And I was like, I don't know if I should say something. Like, this is like the first time I've ever really talked about something. And like, I was like, I think she needs to hear this message before she walks the stage and gets her diploma. And this is like so she was older. So this was like really early into college for me. And so I, shared the message that her family member gave me. And I was like, this is like the prediction that they told me. And she was like, whoa, like I really needed to hear that. Thank you so much. All this is accurate. And I really needed to hear that before I walked the stage. So from there, I was like, okay, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. Things are connecting to me. I'm also predicting my life, like certain jobs that I got, I predicted, certain positions that I held at school, I predicted. And also for my friends around, I would give them like little psychic readings, being like, oh, I think this would be a great area for you to be in. Or I think you should not do this. Or I think if you do this, X, Y, and Z will happen. And like that would kind of happen. So that's kind of how it started, a little smaller, and then gradually it's been just getting bigger as I go.
And are you would you be comfortable sharing that message or a general summary?
Candace, like, I want the
I
do.
She wants to say. So I'll probably skip that one, but I'll give you another.
I was gonna say there was the one even that you told me about.
I think we're probably talking about the same one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So fast forward to here, I figure out, okay, I want to do this. I'm like, all right, I need to get clients. So I start telling people around Sacramento, like people that I work with, that I'm doing this. I end up gaining a client who is a very interesting client. Again, crazy stories, crazy lives. And I was giving her a reading, and I was like, I'll call her A. I was like, A, like, I really think that you need to stop smoking weed for a little bit. I really think that's, and I'm not one to judge people's things, definitely not, but I'm just like saying that is something that you really should not do. And she was like, okay, I understand. And then, a few hours go by. That night, I get a call like 3 a.m. from A, and I'm like, all right, that's weird. Like, who would call their psychic at 3 a.m.? But a lot of people probably would, honestly. But anyway, so she calls me. Yeah, I like,
speed dial.
So she calls me. She's like, Leila, oh my God, I should have not smoked weed tonight. And I was like, what happened? And she was like, I was setting up my camera and I was smoking weed, and my whole face caught on fire, and she was like in the hospital.
Oh, like, because I'm sorry, but
she lit up her whatever she was smoking. So just like things like that, where I was like, whoa. That's
something happened with the lighter or the whatever, but she had to like go to the hospital.
She had to go to the hospital. She still has the mark on her forehead from that night. And she was like, I should have not done it. And I was like, it's okay, as long as you're okay. But I just knew. And it's weird because it's not like somebody's telling me in my ear, like, hey, say this to them. Like, that's
like, which is interesting. Yeah, which is interesting because I think a lot of people might think that. Like anybody who has no realm of the woo-woo world would probably be like, oh, she must hear voices.
So is it more like a feeling, or like how does
it's like a feeling? It's like a knowing. It's like, oh, that's something that like I should probably say out loud. Like if I'm in a reading, I'll take time to pause, collect my thoughts, and I'm like, okay, I think this is the message. And I do a temperature check with my clients too to make sure that I'm on the right track. I'm not claiming to be like the all-knowing person, but it is something that just kind of like in your brain, that needs to be said out loud versus somebody like boop, 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 boop in your ear, that just doesn't happen.
And does this normally happen with like people that you have some rapport with, or can it happen with just some random person you've met?
Random. Wow. Always random, usually.
Okay.
Very random.
So, because I was thinking maybe you're just really good at like reading people, but no, this sounds more like it is something that's just kind of coming to you as you meet them.
I mean, there's been a few, and I honestly, like, I can't remember anything super specific, but since we worked together, you would say things like, oh, this, such and such about a person or something about them, and then that would like end up happening. Or to be true, or to
Megan, you need to start writing down these examples.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's hard because like these examples
are so they're just like
they're more human based. Like they're not like, okay, so it's hard because the examples aren't like, okay, I know there's going to be like an explosion on blah 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 day.
Yes.
It's not like that. It's more kind of like, this is how I can see spirit is telling me that there's an example, I guess.
There's a few we won't mention, but just
that I cannot mention.
Work-wise, I think
why can't you?
It's just personal life. Basically, so
we don't know the people. So
we don't.
You say whatever you're comfortable with saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so but yeah, it's more based on like human wise. Like, okay, this person is definitely gonna do this, and I think this will happen if they do that. Kind of like instead of like predicting events, essentially. If that makes sense, like bigger events. It's hard to talk about examples.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to talk about
So
examples.
in the, in the, I guess, industry, or, you're pretty new at this and looking to probably, I'm assuming, develop your skills. Like, how does one go about that? Is that just practice? I mean, like, or are there
question.
classes or like
Mhm.
retreats or whatever where you can, how does one develop that
Yeah.
skill more
So
over
yeah,
time?
there's like tons of groups, like spiritual groups. So when I was starting to look into tarot, I was like, okay, I should probably go practice. So I found this group at a crystal shop. You could go practice your tarot cards. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? So you're basically giving readings to like 4 different people in an hour. So that's kind of where I started off like practicing. I guess this is a good example. When I was giving a reading, I was like, this has a lot to do with your job. And it was a group reading with 3 different people. And I was talking to one person. I was like, this reading has a lot to do with your job. Is there something going on? She was like, yeah. And I was like, is there somebody from your job that's like around you a lot? And she was like, oh yeah, this is my coworker. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Like things like that where it's like, oh, okay, now I know I'm on the right track. So you can go do stuff like that. Another thing that I like to practice and I've been practicing is just meditation. Taking a break, like silence. No phone, no TV, no podcast going on in the background because I always have podcasts on. Barely air conditioning. You can barely hear anything. I like to put like soundproof headphones on, or sound canceling, and I like to meditate, and I try to talk to my inner self and the observer in that way. And I think that helps me when I'm in the moment. I can decipher myself and spirit while I'm trying to give a reading, if that makes sense. Because
have you ever felt like in any of those settings, have you ever felt like, oh, this person is a fake, or like just here for attention or the wrong reason? You know what I mean? Have you ever yeah, like I would imagine.
Yes. And as a kid, I was really scared of like ghosts. Like, and I didn't really want to know anything about that. I was very like lights on. I'm trained to have like TV going when I'm going to sleep because I don't want to hear voices in my head or my ear. It sounds crazy, but like I was very scared.
It all sounds very
It's so scary.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. It's like you kind of get like people think you're crazy. Like I remember always thinking that I was crazy until my mom got me an astrology book. I think I was like 12. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, this all makes sense now. Like maybe I am crazy, but I'm not the only one out there. But like, yeah, I think I was going to ask this because it's kind of along the lines of what I'm saying, but like, do you think there are people out there who, like you said, you can train yourself like, are there people who are gifted and then there are people who are just like not, like that they are just like too closed off that they couldn't like this.
Like I would never be able to do this, even no matter how much I trained. Like I just, and it's not to say that I'm not a believer,
exactly. Yeah.
But I just am like, I've never felt like I have intuition. I'm not saying I don't have intuition, and I listen to my gut, but it's usually pertaining to me.
Yeah. Like, are there people who are more inclined than not based off of their sign or their life experience or whatever that would be more in tune to being open to this?
Well, people like to describe the world that we're in right now and like the spirit realm as like a veil. And whether people have that veil lifted where they can see, more spiritual things and spiritual beings is all up to the person. The short answer to that is I believe every human being has the capability of having some sort of psychic ability. That's definitely something I believe. Whether you try to do it or not, I think as humans we have that. But I do think that there are some people definitely with a very thin veil versus a thicker veil where they can't really decipher too much.
Does that mean they've been on the planet, like they've been around a couple times? So
I would say
like,
we're talking about reincarnation. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Because I'm like, I meet some people, I'm like, oh my God, you are so brand new to this planet.
Right.
It's
Right,
your first
right.
time. Yep. And then some people I'm like, oh shit, you've been around the block a few times. And it's like not just what they're saying, it's like how you're feeling, their energy, what you're taking in and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. You can definitely see like new souls and old souls for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Leila, for giving us
Thank you.
That was awesome.
So much of your time. And can you please give yourself a shout out and how our listeners can reach out to you if they do want a reading from you, and nice and clear and slowly a couple times would be good.
Yeah. So the way that I usually do it is I have people email me at sunglowpath.com@gmail.com. So it's sunglowpath@gmail.com.
And so, Leila, tell us your prices for the listeners.
Yeah, so for a 30-minute read, I have it for $35, for an hour, 60 minutes, $65, and then 2 questions, limited to 2. A couple extra questions is just going to be an extra $20, and then an extra $35 for mediumship per hour.
Great. And tell us your email one more time.
It's going to be sunglopath@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have to have you. We'll have to have you back. And for our listeners, if you have any questions or topics for Leila that you'd like us to ask her, and we can get back to you on those answers for next time, or any other topics or ideas you'd like us to talk about on future podcasts, you can email us at info@thekarenspodcast.com. That's info@thekarenspodcast.com. You can hear us every Monday on all the usual suspects. Susan, why don't you take it out?
Thanks for listening to Karens, where we have opinions on everything, but we're experts in nothing.